He walked out in a fake beard, sunglasses, and said almost nothing for nearly the entire interview. The audience laughed at first.
You look different than I remember.
Then they stopped. No one in the room knew if this was real or if something had gone very wrong. This video is about the exact moment the script broke, when celebrities stopped performing and nobody in the room knew what to do next. And once it happened, nothing in the room worked the same way again. If moments like this feel strange to watch, it only gets worse from here. It was 2009. Joaquin Phoenix sat across from David Letterman, and something was immediately wrong. Just off. He barely made eye contact. His answers came out slow, disconnected. He chewed gum. He kept touching his beard. The studio audience laughed nervously because that's what you do when you don't understand what you're watching. Letterman pushed. Phoenix didn't push back. He just didn't engage, like the interview was happening to someone else. At one point, Letterman said, "Joaquin, I'm sorry you couldn't be here tonight." The line got a laugh. Phoenix gave almost nothing. No one corrected him. No one stopped it. And that's when it started to feel intentional. What made it so unsettling was that no one could tell if this was a breakdown, a performance, or something he was doing entirely on purpose. That ambiguity never fully resolved, and what happened next made it even harder to ignore. Tom Cruise had been on Oprah's couch before. He knew the format. Everyone did. But in 2005, something shifted early. He wasn't just excited, he was overwhelming. Jumping, grabbing Oprah's hands, getting on his knees. The audience screamed, but you could watch it shift. The energy in the room went from celebration to something closer to confusion. And for a second, even Oprah didn't know how to bring it back. This was a man at the absolute peak of his career, in a controlled environment built for warm moments. And it still felt like watching someone exceed the limits of what a room could hold. The more he tried to show something real, the more theatrical it became. The smile stayed, but the control didn't. But this wasn't confusion. This was something else. For a few weeks in early 2011, Charlie Sheen was everywhere, and he was winning. That's what he kept saying, winning.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
At first, the interviews felt like confidence, bold, quotable, the kind of thing that gets clipped and shared. Then it kept going. The energy didn't land the same way it had at the start. Interviewers would ask follow-up questions and get pulled somewhere they hadn't planned to go. His tone stayed steady. That was the part that got under your skin. Not rage, not despair. Just absolute, unshakable certainty in a direction no one else could see. The cameras stayed on. The clips kept spreading. But the laughing got quieter. And that's when it stopped feeling like an interview and started feeling like something you weren't supposed to watch. If you're still here, you already feel it. These moments don't just look strange. They feel wrong. And then it happened in a way no one expected. Some breaks don't come with raised voices. In 2008, Katherine Heigl withdrew her own name from Emmy consideration for Grey's Anatomy.
You said, "Don't submit me."
I said, I'm not going to submit.
The reason she gave publicly: the writing that season hadn't given her the material to deserve a nomination.
I wasn't feeling good about my work.
She said it plainly, almost professionally. But in an industry built on carefully maintained appearances, where you protect the project, thank the writers, and keep tension private, this was a breach, not a loud one. The quiet kind that lingers. And the part no one talked about was that she still had to walk back onto that set the next day. And the next moment didn't just feel off, it crossed a line. The audio leaked in 2009, but it was recorded on the set of Terminator Salvation in 2008. What you hear is a man who has completely stopped performing composure. The target is a director of photography who walked into his eye line during a take. What follows is nearly 4 minutes of raw, sustained fury.
Now don't just be sorry, think for one second. Are you professional or not?
What made it disturbing wasn't the anger itself. It was the specificity, the control inside the loss of control. He was articulate, focused, which made it feel more exposed, and no one stepped in. The recording kept going, and when it leaked, there was no real explanation offered, just the audio, and whatever you decided to make of it. In 1973, Marlon Brando won the Academy Award for The Godfather.
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
It was one of the most anticipated moments of the night. He wasn't there to accept it. Instead, a woman named Sheen Littlefeather walked to the podium and declined the award on his behalf, citing Hollywood's treatment of Native Americans. The room didn't know how to respond. Some booed, some applauded. The ceremony kept moving because it had to. Brando had won the most prestigious award his industry could offer, and he used that moment to reject the terms of the industry itself. He didn't storm out. He didn't give a speech. He just sent someone else to say no. It was precise. It was planned. And it was completely outside anything the room had been built to handle. And in that moment, the room wasn't in control anymore. What connects all of these moments isn't scandal. It's something harder to define. The feeling that someone stepped outside the performance, everyone agreed to keep going, and suddenly the seam showed. Most of the time, the cameras kept rolling. The audience kept watching. That might be the most uncomfortable part of all, because once you notice it, it's hard to unsee. If you want more moments like these, the next video is right there.